program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
Yep, here are the boys. Hello there. He is Roy Fletcher. I'm Kevin Gallagher.
There you go.
Glad to have you with us for episode 6.
We know who we are.
This is episode 6, Roy.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Well, so
I like being able to put that in the descriptions when I post them. Season 1, episode 6.
Plus all of our radio stations. Yeah. So
forget the fact that the show's been on the radio for, 8 years?
Yeah. Kevin, I got an announcement to make.
Let's go.
I got a new child.
A child?
Yes. I know, I look old, but I got a new child.
Did you adopt?
His name is River, and he's a golden doodle.
Oh, you got a puppy.
I got a puppy, 3 months old.
That's so sweet.
Some friends of mine talked me into it because just because they have one too, and this is a brother to that one, and I love this dog with a passion.
But you recently lost one of your dogs too, didn't you?
Just about. I still hadn't had the courage yet, but very close.
Well, I don't want to wish ill on you.
But I just love the golden doodle and River. I like River. And as I told somebody else, I said, I called him River because I'm just about at the end of mine. So anyway, enough of my morbidity.
Welcome to the family, River.
Yeah, really. And I'm going to bring a picture of him and put him on one day. I might bring him here. I don't know.
Bring him on the set.
Yeah, why not?
Is he a good dog?
He's wonderful. He's just the coolest dog in the world. Happy, happy, happy.
See, I could bring my cat on the set, but it would be like, it would sound like he was on his way to a river in a burlap bag. I mean, she makes a lot of noise.
Sweetness. My cat, he's not going anywhere except to the bowl and to the hide out in the grass or someplace.
You can tell. Roy and I are both animal lovers here.
They're very much so. So, Kevin, last week we ended the show talking about John Bel Edwards and what he had said at the Democratic Governors Association to the New Jersey political website.
A significant announcement.
Yeah, in which he said that Phil Murphy, I think is the governor of New Jersey, who had just become chairman of the DGA, was going to come to Louisiana to help with the governor's race, which is a big deal. Because as I said at the time, I said, it sounds to me like Governor Edwards had just said that we're going to have a Democratic candidate.
Not just a Democratic candidate. I don't think he would have said that if they had one of these
Democratic
candidates.
A Democratic, a real one, right? A real Democratic candidate. And I got to thinking about it, and I said, that could be what he said. Or he could have said, we're going to have that DGA money down there to help us pick a candidate.
Help us pick one.
Pick a governor. Now, why would I say that? Well, what happened this week in Maryland was that the DGA spent a fortune to ensure that a Republican nominee would be chosen that couldn't get elected in a general election. That's what and that's a reoccurring theme now this year. And even the Washington Post has opined that it's terrible and it's awful, along with Mitt Romney. So who cares? But the point being is that could mean that too, or it could mean all three. We got a candidate, we're going to put money on a bad Republican, or we're going to spend money in other ways down there. So we don't know exactly what he meant, but we do know that the Democratic Party, National Party, will be deeply involved in the governor's race in Louisiana. That's quite an announcement given the fact that New Jersey elects its governor the same year. So Murray, whatever his name is, Murphy, he is going to be up for re-election too. And so he's meddling in Louisiana at the same time he's up for re-election. Okay. So I bring it up because I think it's a major story and nobody in the press has really written anything about it or said anything about it.
I hadn't seen anything about the governor even attending the conference, the Democratic Governors Association.
But it's a major story. And anybody listening, I think you should take note of this. Now, we've got an announcement this week.
May I just add
go
one
ahead.
thing to that? It seems to me an indicator that there are pundits out there who think that the Democrats have got nothing going into the next election. Well, clearly they've got a plan.
Oops, I'm sorry, guys.
Clearly they've got a plan.
Clearly they've got a plan. And clearly my phone just went off. But yes, they have a plan, and there's no question about it. And somebody maybe wants to wake up. Yeah, just maybe.
May I ask you?
I don't know.
I mean, who is a strong enough Democrat with statewide name recognition to,
This name was presented to me several months ago, and I'd like to give credit to the person who did it, but I won't. I'll leave that name alone. But this name was given to me several months ago, and at first I kind of poo-pooed the idea, but the more that I've watched them, there's a really good female candidate in Louisiana the Democrats could run. Really good.
Did I mention her name last week?
I don't know, did you?
Let's have the name. I mentioned Katrina Jackson.
You did mention Katrina Jackson, but you did not mention Donna Edwards. So.
Whoa! I hadn't thought of that.
Well, folks, just think of it. Well, gee, she'll have to deal with John Bel Edwards 2.0. Well, yeah, but she has a base of 30% going in, 32% going in. 18% of the whites are liberal, so they'll go ahead and vote for her. So she has to get 15% more of the white vote than 18. She has to get about a third of the white vote. She don't have a whole lot to deal with there, does she?
I'll say this for Mrs. Edwards. She is a learned woman. She's an educator.
Yeah.
And, so we know she's smart. I don't know what her political acumen may be, but I think that with coaching and with advice,
I'll just say this.
She's a whole lot more likable than her mister. She's got charisma.
Yeah, she does. And the fact of the matter is, it makes sense to me. It makes total sense to me.
Wow.
Now, it didn't at the time, but it does now. So I'll just leave it there, and I'll pass along to the person that put me on that some months ago. That was very perceptive comment.
Really perceptive.
Very perceptive.
Now I'm going to be watching Mrs. Edwards.
Yeah, I think everybody should. So anyway, we're going to take a break here in about 30 seconds. But when we come back, I want to talk about the Donald Trump speech and the situation as it relates to China, and then maybe we'll talk about the governor's race in general, given the fact that I just raised the name. Only one other person has told me it was a possibility.
Related to Donald Trump, I want to ask you about Turncoat Pence when we come back.
We're going to talk about that too.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we can talk about
All
that.
right. Coming at you live from Old School BBQ at 10655, forgot the address, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We are live here, and we hope you'll join us. We'll be back with Fletch Nation.
Stay with us.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello, Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
So glad to have you with us, coming to you from the old School BBQ in Baton Rouge, where they have, I'm sorry, I know it's just my opinion, and I am an opinionated jackhole, but the best pulled pork sandwich in the city of Baton Rouge.
In the Baton Rouge, absolutely. Mm-hmm. No question
and
about it.
And everything else is awesome as well.
Well, Kevin, we witnessed yesterday a big snake just kind of crawling up and trying to get out of its way as the Biden administration tried to explain to us what a recession is not.
Redefining everything.
After decades and decades and decades of defining a recession as 2 consecutive quarters being with no growth, yesterday they explained to us that that's not what it is at all. Well, folks, I'm just going to tell you, we'll find out tomorrow, but it looks like to me we're in a recession.
I think we've been in one.
Yeah, yes, but we're in our second quarter of no growth. I think that's what we'll find out tomorrow, GDP. And at the same time that they were trying to explain their way out of that, we have the Biden administration, I think, selling 20 million more barrels out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to China and oil. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Say that again?
Yeah, I think it's 20 million. I'll have to check. But I think it's 20 million barrels of oil.
To who?
To China. To China. Can you imagine? I mean, I guess Hunter's got his deal going on over there and he's working his business pretty well, you know? So, anyway.
Out of our Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
That's correct.
We're selling to China.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we're paying what we're paying at the pump. So, just so you'll know.
Holy mackerel.
It's kind of crazy. It's interesting, too, that I think yesterday or the day before that Ms. Pelosi makes a big deal about not going to Taiwan or whatever the case may be. And everybody's telling her she has to go, and she's going. And yesterday, China issued a statement, and they said there would be serious consequences and firm and resolute measures taken if she goes to Taiwan. In other words, we have backed ourselves into a position of if she goes and something happens, we're the reason for it. But if she don't go and nothing happens, we're still the reason for it because we look like a bunch of wimps. So it's kind of a tough situation here, okay? We've kind of backed ourselves into a corner. But at the same time that's going on, we're selling all of this oil to China again. And yesterday, Trump made a speech to his research arm. I forget what it's, America First Initiative or something like that. And he talked about the failure of this administration, and there's a bill apparently in front of the United States Senate to end the president's power over tariffs to China. And he made the strong case that they must keep the presidential power over those tariffs to China, and to strain them as hard as they can, to bust them as hard as they can. And so you have this situation where our foreign policy is so confused and so odd as it relates to China, you can't quite figure it out. We're selling oil, we're sending somebody to Taiwan that China says is part of China, a Speaker of the House, and then we have this notion that some way the Senate is going to do away with the presidential power over tariffs to China. In other words, to loosen everything to China. That's what's going on. Now tell me exactly what is the constant theme through those three things.
China's calling the tune.
It sounds like it to me. Wouldn't it to you?
Yes.
Yes, it does me too. China is calling the tune. Now, yesterday, did you see this Trump speech, by the way?
I did. I watched, well, not every bit of it, but I watched about first three quarters. I had to step away.
The press coverage on it suggested that he was a little lackadaisical, a little hazy at the beginning, and then he got tougher as time went along. And he got tougher because his speech was about law and order.
Well, the speech seemed pretty low-key at the onset. It did.
Yeah, it was low-key at the onset. But as he got into it, it got more vociferous as he got into law and order. And he proposed such things as drug dealers being put to death.
Supreme Court won't go with that.
Well, no, I mean, it's just not going to happen. But the point of it is that he went on out there and pushed some really pretty bold stuff. I mean, you may or may not agree with it, but the fact is you would have to agree that it was bold. And he was warmly received by that group. But on the other hand, I think there was a little bit of what do we do with this guy now? Because yesterday it was announced, I think it was yesterday, maybe last night, that the Department of Justice, Federal Department of Justice, has commenced a federal criminal investigation of his role in January 6th, particularly as it relates to the what they call fake electors. Okay, that's the Department of Justice. Whereas in Atlanta, the DA down there has already been on this issue and seems to be getting closer and closer to subpoenaing the former president to a state grand jury in Georgia. That's what it looks like. They have also subpoenaed all the electors, the Trump electors, what they call fake electors. They have subpoenaed all of them. They have told them they're targets of the investigation in Atlanta. And so I think that what the concern is what happens if they indict the president at some place. I think that's the real, and can they? Will they? And what is the outcome of it if they do? I think all of those things are issues here. And I told you initially that I didn't think he had anything to worry about federally. I thought it was in Atlanta. I thought that's where the action would be. And I think that that's where the action will end up being. Serious action. But we'll see. We'll see. But my gut tells me. And Trump said it best in his speech in Arizona. He said, look, if I said I wasn't running today, this would all end. And he's right about that. Because this has everything to do with him being able to run for president of the United States. Okay? That's what it has to do.
Make no mistake.
Make no mistake about it. That's what this is all about.
2022 election, try and salvage some seats.
Yes.
2024 election, try and make sure that a Democrat remains in the White House.
Yeah, and on the 2022 election, I'll say this much. I think that their thinking is the more pressure they put on him, the more the possibility is that he will actually announce his candidacy for president prior to Election Day in 2022.
Oh, he'd be foolish.
Well, but
And
that's
he's not.
but they know. But I think that there's a game that's being played there, because they think maybe what he would do is bow his back and say, "Okay, y'all want to y'all going to do this to me? Well, I'm going to be an announced candidate for president if you try."
Wow.
Okay, so I think that that's what's happening here.
Great big brass,
Yeah.
Time for us to
Some of them.
Time for us to take another break. So let's do that right now, and we'll see you on the other side when we resume with more of Fletch Nation right here on Pelican Broadcasting.
Walnuts.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-50. Confident on- and off-road performance and intelligently designed utility inside and out.
The all-new Mazda CX-50 has arrived and is on sale right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School BBQ, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School BBQ, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to Fletch Nation, and by the way, coming up in just a few minutes, we will have part 2 of our ongoing conversation.
Finally we got it up. Yeah,
with John Carmouche, where we had a little technical snafu last week.
We messed up.
But
we messed up.
Technical malfunction.
Yes, okay. We screwed that up. So Kevin, Trump was very, very vociferous about law and order, and I was looking. I ran across an article this week that was fascinating about the number of arrests in America and how the number of arrests in America have fallen so dramatically over the past 6-7 years, but particularly since like the year before COVID. But it's really been going on for about 7 years now. And let me give you something. I'm going to try to give it off the top of my head. This is one city, one example, okay? In 2012, in San Antonio, Texas, there was 186,000 arrests. Fast forward 9 years, fast forward 7 years to 2019, and it was 25,000 arrests.
Whoa.
It had dropped that much.
And that doesn't mean crime is better. That just means they're not arrested.
Yeah, right. And that it is a phenomenon that is going on all across America. I don't have the numbers on Baton Rouge yet. I'd love to get them. But it is a phenomenon of these arrests going down. They're dropping. They're attempting to explain why. And they generally use the notion of the George Floyd effect. Okay?
Defund the police.
Yes, and the notion is that police do not want to arrest people because they do not know what will happen, A, and B, that if something does happen, they're going to get blamed for it. That tends to be the explanation for this. You're talking about an enormous, dramatic effect from 186,000 to 25,000.
There's another contributing factor, I think, and that's more and more in these major American cities, there's a DA in place
that does not do anything.
Is reluctant to prosecute. So
That's
if
right.
I'm a cop, why do I want to bust the guy if we can't get a case?
And that's sort of the whole George Floyd effect too. Okay, that's all part of it too. And that's actually George Soros effect. Okay, well, now
I was going to bring his name up. You did first.
Yeah, so the George and George effect. But that's fascinating, and Trump delved into it a little bit, but not much. But I think it's an issue that's going to become more and more pronounced as to why police officers are not arrested. And there's a whole theory, or not a theory, there's a whole interest out there that says they shouldn't arrest anybody. Okay?
Anybody.
Anybody. Just leave it alone and let it go on and do whatever. I guess you live in the Leviathan.
Lord of the Flies, man.
Yeah, the state of nature. I mean, I don't know. But that's a really, really unbelievable statistic to me. And it had stats this article had for LA, Minneapolis. They went down a list of cities where this was going on, where these drops were really, really dramatic. And I think it was worth somebody doing the research. I'm not, but somebody that has a little bit of time doing the research over the last 10, 12 years in Baton Rouge and see if that same wave of disinterest in arresting criminals is here too.
Well, if you believe that the two curves are connected, the rise in violent crime and the decline in arrests, we're seeing it happen in Shreveport, New Orleans, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, really all of our bigger cities.
That's correct.
And in some cases, even the small towns of Louisiana.
Like Opelousas, which I read the other day, is literally the most dangerous city in Louisiana. I don't know that to be true, but that's
Bastrop, 3 shootings in the space of 7 days at the same place.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, and that's all on top of criminal justice reform. Okay, which is a whole nother story, which my guy we did a video on statewide, Jay Marsh, was trying to get, and he got a couple of those bills passed to try to dial some of that back. But that's where.
But if he gets bills passed, but then DAs don't use
do their
them.
job.
If they don't use them, what good are they? And I'm not aiming that back at Senator Morris either.
No. You're absolutely right, because the DA and the sheriff are the two people in a parish that's going to have most control over things like that. Okay, so no matter what, they are. The next thing I would take up is that, and that was a kind of a bad segue there, but it kind of, I'm going from that criminal justice thing and the Trump speech to the next thing, which is the effect of the Roe v. Wade decision on the potential effect on the 2022 elections. Now, the Democrats got a little bit of taste of goodness this week because Axios website reported a poll that suggested that an enthusiasm among Democrats had finally met the enthusiasm among Republicans for voting in 2022. So in other words, this jump in enthusiasm, because it was down for Democrats before that, this jump in enthusiasm has been ascribed to the case, to the decision of the Supreme Court. That may or may not be true. I don't know. I've seen other polling that suggests that enthusiasm gap is still there and still significant. Okay, so I don't know what that is, but we do know this. We do know that the president, Biden, is very low in terms of his favorability, anywhere from 33 to 37. His negative is anywhere from 55 to 59. Mm-hmm. And so there's not a whole lot of love there, even among Democrats for their president. In fact, a New Hampshire poll this week in the Democratic primary had Pete Buttigieg, whatever his name.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, Buttigieg. Buttigieg. Yeah, but they had him beating the president 17-16 in a Democratic primary in the state of New Hampshire for president, which is...
Don't forget the poll where 2/3 of Democratic voters said, I want somebody else to run in 2024.
That's correct. We talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Else.
That's right. And so it's kind of not odd that it's that, but it's odd that Buttigieg would be the candidate that would be 1 point ahead.
The Secretary of Transportation.
We'll be back in a moment, and we're going to take up some other races around the country. Stick with
it. Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School BBQ. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Fletch Nation returns, and in just a few minutes, we're going to have part 2 of our ongoing conversation with John Carmouche about coastal affairs and oil companies and protecting Louisiana's coast, and asking people to clean up the mess that they've made.
And this one will be a little bit more about John than the others.
Good.
Yeah, so it'll be
Looking
good.
forward to it.
So Kevin, you had a couple of questions.
There's two things that are on my mind. One, I'm troubled that we're talking about Trump's speech. Mike Pence was making a speech at virtually the same time, which, of course, I'm sorry, I must confess, I'm not interested in anything Mike Pence has to say, so I haven't seen it even on the internet.
I got it.
But what is up with Mike Pence suddenly going turncoat when he could easily just say nothing? Nobody's asking Mike Pence to jump in on this.
He's running for president. So he's trying to draw a distinction.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's trying to draw a distinction. Remember, he's in Arizona, with the we talked about last week, Robeson,
yes.
and then he's going to, I think he's going to make some more endorsements that puts him in conflict with the former President Trump, and he's running for president, and so he's trying to draw a distinction vis-a-vis Donald Trump, and probably the wrong person to draw a distinction against.
Okay.
Okay, that's number one.
Fair enough. The other one is we recently, just last Friday, we completed qualifying for the federal midterm elections.
Yes.
And in 2 of our 6 congressional districts, no Democrat qualified to run at all. And in Mike Johnson's district, District 4, up in Shreveport, in that area, actually covers a good area of the state, almost all the way down to I-10 from Shreveport.
Right.
Nobody qualified to run against Mike Johnson. He is reelected to a 4th term in office. But in District 6, Garrett Graves has 2 challengers. Neither one of them are a Democrat.
Right.
And in the other 4 districts, we have Troy Carter, who's a Democrat incumbent, but in the other 3 Republican districts, or Republican majority districts, no well-known, well-heeled, familiar Democrat challenger. They're all relatively unknowns.
Yep. And it just speaks to the headwind that the Democratic Party is facing in the 2022 election, and particularly in a red state like Louisiana. So what's the point in running? Now, in the district in Lafayette to Lake Charles, there's going to be a serious challenge made to Clay Higgins.
He has 7 challengers.
Yes,
7.
yes, and one of them I think is going to distinguish themselves. I can't remember the fellow's name. He's
Holden Hoggett.
Yeah, that's it.
City prosecutor.
Yeah, he is. He's going to make a serious run, and probably in May, I would think the odds are in his favor of beating Clay Higgins. I really do. I think the odds are in his favor.
Well, I think I do dare say, and I have no axe to grind against Clay Higgins personally.
No, me either. But the point is,
I do think he's got a problem with voter satisfaction in his district.
Big time. I mean, he's had 2 major hurricanes in his district that the Lake Charles people don't think he's done enough and to deal with, and then he has a persona that has turned off a lot of people in Lafayette Parish proper, more affluent, more educated kind of voters, and so he's going to have a real difficult time. And I hear that there will be major endorsements made in that race from former Senator John Breaux, maybe, and from Charles Boustany, the former congressman, in favor of the gentleman that we just mentioned. So I think that Clay Higgins has got problems, big time problems.
The follow-up question about the Democrats' lack of a well-heeled challenger in any of the districts. Does this reflect on, they've had internal troubles, what with their executive director coming under indictment, having to face her gambling addiction, things like this. There's internal problems at the Louisiana Democratic Party. Does this factor in?
I don't think so. Look, I think that, it may have taken some people's eye off the ball, I don't know. But the fact is that the problems that the Democrats in Louisiana have is not about what happened with Karen Carter Peterson or anything else. The problems that they have in Louisiana is that this is a red state, essentially, and a very strong Trump state and other Republicans in presidential elections. And in 2022, the headwinds all across the country are against the Democrats, and particularly in states like Louisiana, and particularly in an oil-producing state like Louisiana, okay, where the oil industry is important, and this administration has not been kind to the oil industry in the first place. And we heard from Scott Angel last week that they basically have shut down offshore exploration and production. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with here, and you know, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world.
Now the White House, you know, I remember that Jen Psaki doing the thing with Peter Doocy, where she said there have been 9,000 leases sold offshore. You know, ask the oil companies why they're not exploring them. Say, well, they need drilling permits, and that's what you're not telling America is they need drilling permits.
The other thing is that they need refining capacity in America because we don't have enough. And here's the problem. The problem is they can't get the permits to build the refinery, and refineries. And number two is that you've got an administration down talking the oil industry on the one hand, and on the other hand, they're wondering why they're not investing in something so big and so capital intensive as a refinery. Duh. Can you figure this out, people? And number three is that they keep promoting the notion of green energy and all of this, when in fact that is, we're not even close to that yet. And so we're sitting here with low refinery capacity. They're not producing the oil that they could do because of the low refinery capacity. But at the same time, they can't build the refineries and put them online fast enough because just the EPA and the whole permitting system is so damn onerous for these people. I mean, you know, I happen to believe that the oil industry needs to clean up our coast, and they need to do the things that we need them to do. But don't do this to them. This is wrong. This is just wrong, what's being done right now.
It's a huge chunk of our state's economy, and it's been severely crippled. It's
right. Now, I want to turn to 2022 elections. I'm going to turn to one particular state. And right now, two. Arizona, Democrat out there is probably about 4 points ahead. That's Gabby Giffords.
Mark
Kelly. He's about 4 points ahead of the Democrat, who they think is going to be the Republican nominee. And in the state, so that's a very close race. In the state of Georgia, Warnock has spent literally tens of millions of dollars, and on TV and everything else. And he's up by 3 over Herschel Walker.
Only 3?
Only 3.
Bless you.
Excuse me. And Herschel Walker has not made a tremendous
COVID mask.
Yes, Herschel Walker has not made a tremendously good candidate thus far. But the truth of the matter is that it's going to be. Thank you very much. It's going to be a very close race there. And on the governor's side, Brian Kemp is up 5 over. What's her name? The big lady?
I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, me too.
I beg your pardon, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Neuron misfire, sorry, I'm getting old.
Me too. I just drew a blank. I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, Kemp is up 5 over her. She ran last time. There's a close race. But so that just shows you how close these races are going to be. And there's about 5 Senate races that we could talk about that will decide that.
Now I'm going to Google that during the break. So
okay, we do it, please.
Kill me because I can't remember.
I can't remember it. Y'all stick with us, and we'll maybe get our minds back in just a moment.
More to come. Best of Fletch Nation.
You know.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Thank you to our producer Alan Traylor and our floor director Marty Campbell for helping out an old man whose memory was failing. Stacey Abrams, the candidate.
Thank you.
In Georgia, Stacey Abrams.
And I'm sorry I sneezed.
Well,
now, real quick before we go to John Carmouche, a federal judge today, this morning, Wednesday, declined to a request to acquit Steve Bannon, but he left open the door to consider possibly dismissing the charges.
Okay.
Okay?
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. All right, anyway.
Did Bannon actually do anything?
No.
Depends on who you ask, I guess.
Yeah, well, he didn't do what they asked him to do. That's what he didn't do.
He didn't comply.
Yeah, he did not comply.
That's going to be this week's word, compliance.
Compliance, as opposed to prescient.
Prescient. Yeah. I liked prescient. That was
me
good.
Too. So Kevin, we're going to go to our interview with John Carmouche, our second part of this interview. And there's one last part of that interview that we'll show as we go along. But John Carmouche, who is a well-known coastal and land lawyer here in Louisiana, and is deeply involved in saving our coast.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Well, welcome back. We're with John Carmouche, a well-known coastal and environmental lawyer in Louisiana, a land lawyer. And we've been talking about sort of your past and your education and what sort of brought you to the fight for the coast of Louisiana. There's bigger issues, though, it seems, John. There's a new poll out by the New York Times over the weekend, the Siena poll, Siena College poll, that had 13% of the country in a good mood about the direction of the United States. What do you think about the direction of our country?
I think it's going in the wrong way. I mean, it's too divided, Roy. Too much politics. I grew up in a political family, but also grew up believing in the real world. And I think we've lost the touch of actually working together and putting politics aside. You can have your views, and I believe in strong conservative views myself as a Republican, but I also believe in a real world working together. I give the example that, we show up at work every day. There's so many businesses in Louisiana that are huge and making a large difference in Louisiana. They show up to work every day to work together as a business. They don't show up every day to say, are you a Republican, Democrat, Independent? They show up every day, they work together, and they accomplish huge things in Louisiana. But it just seems like as soon as you turn on the political TV,
when you walk in the state capitol,
it's politics. And everybody forgets that Louisiana needs to be run like a business. And to do that, you have to work together. And I think we've lost that in this state.
I can't think of a way to get it back either. But the fact is that the point that you're making is that it's a necessity.
It's an absolute necessity. This state needs to turn in the direction of working together as a business to bring businesses here and to grow the economy and bring our kids back.
Well, you bring up the economy. I mean, what do you think of the general direction of Louisiana and our economy in Louisiana is right now?
It's terrible. I mean, we're in the 21st century and we're running this state like it's 1950. It's time to change. It's time to be pro-business. It's time to bring our kids back and make them want to come back. And right now, we need dramatic change on education. We need a dramatic change on how we deal with businesses. We need to bring the oil industry back. I mean, everybody says I'm against the oil industry. I'm not against the oil industry.
We talked about that last week. I mean, you're quite the opposite, correct?
I am the opposite because I believe in if we zero out the liability, we can bring back.
You mean the sort of the coastal liability?
Clear the coastal liability, clean up this state, and make them want to come back. And we can bring the oil industry back. We have to make the dramatic change in the state that we've needed for a long, long time, and not just because of the oil industry.
That's one of the things that you have talked about that's so different, and that is, for right now, for the Biden administration has taken the position that the 5-year plan on offshore drilling, they're just not even going to bring it up anymore. They're not going to discuss it. On the other hand, you've taken the position if you clean up the coast and the liability gets cleaned up, then what you want is an industry that can drill and manufacture and produce, and the liability be gone.
Not only the liability be gone, but there are great operators in the state of Louisiana today. And there are great operators that want to come here in Louisiana.
In the oil and gas industry.
In the oil and gas industry. Yeah. And get our industry and our people back to work and do it the right way.
Yeah.
And that's the key, is do it the right way, bring them back, grow the economy with zero liability, and let's move on.
One of the things that has been discussed in the last couple of weeks, Governor Ducey of Arizona has passed what they call the most Education Freedom Choice Act in the country, where basically the money follows the student rather than going to the county or the school board or what. It follows the student. Wherever the student goes, whatever school the student decides to go to, the money follows. When you say dramatic change from Louisiana in education, that would be something that you'd want to look at, I would assume, huh?
Definitely. I mean, I have to study it, but my position on education is we have to get our kids to want to stay here. And our education, it needs a dramatic change in how we educate our kids, because our kids have to want to be educated. You can't make and force these kids to do something they don't want to do. So there's a lot of things that look at trade schools and getting these kids to be educated on the jobs we have for them in Louisiana. And
market sensitive.
Yeah. And make this a state where we promote working here, not promoting outside of the state.
Right.
So I think all of those programs are great programs to look at, and definitely the state of Louisiana needs a change in education.
But you would say that if you're not teaching the basics and doing the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, you're not really accomplishing much, are you?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the kind of dramatic change Louisiana needs. We have a couple of things that I kind of call it the quick round, and we'll go ahead and get into a little bit of that. You give me quick answers to questions that people ask. One is like, you say you're a Republican. What's your position like on the Second Amendment?
I'm for it, Roy.
I mean, that's pretty much says it all right there. You're for it, you know. What about immigration, illegal immigration, and that sort of thing?
I'm for building the wall. I'm for keeping them out. This is the United States of America, and as long as you legally come here, then I think you should go through the process.
I got you. So now, John, if I've taken my cue properly, we can now go to a break, and we'll be back in a moment. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
That's good stuff, Roy. That's good stuff.
He's a good guy.
He's an interesting individual.
Kevin?
So when you said we'll be back in a moment, you mean part 2, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, right?
Yes, part 3.
Part 3.
Yes. What do you have?
Uh-oh. Is it Shades time?
Yeah, I think it is, Kevin. I think we're on a mission.
We're on a mission from God.
Thank you. So yeah, we'll have it next week, Kevin. And then next week I want to talk about, in particular, specific, I want to talk about, go through all of the races in the country and start to develop a way to look at it so people can see what we can sort of start projecting as the number of seats, where they will occur at, how many will be Democrat, how many will be Republican, and then start to project some of these Senate races, which is where the action really is, except on the Blues Brothers.
The great question is, will it be a huge tidal wave, or will it be a wave? You know, will it be regaining, regaining a simple majority, or will it be
here's the question.
A super
will it be a 94 wave, or will it be a 2010 wave?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, and I don't foresee a 94 wave, although it could be. It could be, because the economy is in such a ditch that we could be getting there.
I know that there are players in the House, especially, who were considered power players in the House, and now their seats are seen as swing seats.
Yes.
Definitely, like Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida. Her seat is very much, at risk.
And there are others on the Democratic side that are suddenly faced with, but on the Republican side, let me say this. For example, in the state of Iowa, Chuck Grassley is running for re-election. Senator Grassley is 88 years old.
Oh, he should retire.
And he's being challenged pretty hard, and he's only got about a 7-point lead. Well, that's not much of a lead in a time when the headwinds are going so hard against the Democrats. Okay? So there's things out there that does not give you the impression that it's going to be a 94 wave.
Quick question with 45 seconds left in the show. Should there be a retirement age for the House and the Senate?
Probably so, but there's not.
88, for God's sake.
Yeah, but Chuck Grassley, have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he's still rolling, man.
Yeah, he's still pretty vital for that age.
But, I think probably there needs to be, and I've probably reached that age myself.
Thank God you're not in the House or the Senate.
That's true.
That's our program for this week. We sure do thank you for spending some time with us, and we hope you'll do it again next week. I want to thank once again Old School BBQ for their hospitality and the wonderful food. And that's going to wrap it up for Fletch Nation this week.
Hit it.
Hit it.
Yes.
I'm Kevin Gallagher. He's Roy Fletcher. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, or planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.